21st century superhuman. And I know that the answers are inside. Yeah, I am a 21st century superhuman. Now is the time. Come on everyone, let's celebrate. We are the children of the sun. I can see it when I look into your eyes. We are the same, and we are light, and we are one. And we can make a difference. Yeah, we can be the change it takes to make the world a lot more fun.
Hi there, this is Carrie Ellis, author of 21st Century Superhuman, and this is our 21st Century Superhuman show. Today I have with me Aviram. How are you today, Aviram?
Thank you. I'm very fine, Carrie.
Awesome. It's so
I'm
good.
very happy to be a 21st Century Superhuman today.
Yes! It's awesome to have you here. You have one of those minds that is very detailed, and you've developed some really beautiful things along the lines of plasma technology. And I know you've been a student with Mr. Keshe and the Keshe Foundation. For how long have you been watching the knowledge seekers and learning and applying?
I started in 2015.
Nice.
And I got immediately addicted to my weekly shot.
Yes. There's so much learning that goes on in those knowledge seekers workshops. And in fact, these ones most recently that are about the neutron GANs and all of that, they're so interesting. I can't wait to understand that better. But I know for myself, those are long, they're up to 4 hours long on a weekly basis. And really there's some teaching every day of the week almost from the Keshe Foundation with the One Nation, One Race, One Planet. And it takes a lot to assimilate all that information and turn it into something usable. And I have people write me questions all the time. So I love sharing when I have someone like you who has really developed a lot of those ideas. You've gone and done your own experiments. You've put things into practice. You've even developed a couple of websites where you have products for sale. And they're beautiful, what you've created.
Thank you.
How has it, you're welcome. How has it been for you to kind of go through that actualization process?
Well, I'm German born, so it flows in my blood to and I've been born with a brain. All my brothers are engineers, and I never wanted to be an engineer. I wanted to be an artist, so I went this way, and then I ended up finally studying sociology and other things. And for my mind, it's very easy and very fun to listen to people, to extract from what they are saying something which I can then present in a more coherent or short way. I love to do that, and that's
nice.
what my work is.
Yes, and it's very obvious you have one of those detailed minds, so it's really exciting to see what you've done. Well, let's go ahead and screen share, and we'll look at your slideshow that you've created here of what you've done.
We are actually located in Quebec in the Laurentians in Canada, which is a French-speaking country. I immigrated there from Germany 20 years ago, and my wife from Switzerland 30 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have three languages: French, English, and German, right?
Yes, right.
Very
German,
good.
I only speak with my family and a few friends who are Germanophones here. But normally, majority we speak French.
Nice. So one thing I love is that you have shaped what you're doing around world peace, and that's your intention. And I know that's been the major choice of the Keshe Foundation, is to set out to bring a conversation for peace in the world in order to bring this new technology. So how is that for you?
Now that that the Keshe Foundation came up with this, which and they made it their central piece, I'm very happy.
Yes.
Then I adopted the peace treaty, and I, whenever I sell something to somebody, first time I sell to a customer, I send them the peace treaty, and
Beautiful.
I send them also a thing created by Carolina, the wife of Mr. Keshe, which she called "You Are About to Create Your Reality." That
Nice.
is a little paper of how you create your reality anyway.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And then we added to the peace treaty, we thought it's not enough for us personally that it only talks about international conflicts. We thought it's as at least as important to treat interpersonal conflicts like in our relationships,
Yes.
and also the conflicts in ourselves. Do we
Beautiful.
not dispute the voice of our heart?
Beautiful.
Yeah, so we added this and people like it and we enjoy it too.
Very nice.
And I go on.
Yes.
So we have two websites. Basically, one website is called plasmalaurentide.org, which is a website which contains all the knowledge we did gather since 2015 from the weekly workshops of Mr. Keshe, some private teachings, the One Nation, One World for World Peace from Carolina, and whatever we can get and find interesting from Facebook groups. So that's one part. The other part is that is free. So we try to keep all the transfer of information free of charge for everybody. And
Perfect.
yeah, and but still we are not living on plasma alone. So we have to buy.
Not yet.
Not yet, yeah. So we have established a web shop which is called Fab-Shop. It's an online shop who finances the knowledge sharing of the other thing.
Nice. And fab might stand for fabrication, right?
Right. Fab-Shop.
Fabulous
Yes.
fabrication.
Oh, fabulous is a good thing. And it's also related to, maybe you know, Fab Labs.
No.
That's a concept of, I think it came out in the same time, more or less, than Ubuntu movement.
Ah,
It's a Fab Lab is fabrication laboratory. It's a place where citizens, people meet. They pool in their equipment like sewing machines or bandsaws and stuff like that.
nice.
And then everybody can come in, become a member. They learn how machines work, and they can repair their stuff instead of throwing it away and buying new stuff.
Beautiful. Have you been part of one of those?
Yes, I'm trying to make one here in our city.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I had not heard of that, but I'll have to look into that further. That's great. And
Yeah.
yes, your knowledge sharing is wonderful. That was one of the things that attracted me to what you were doing in the first place. I ran across one of your articles and I said, wow, these are great articles that are kind of summaries of some of what's being taught, and very helpful.
So I will talk about that too. So the emphasis of our shop also is not that it's not only that people buy. We are of course happy when people buy because that makes our living. But in the same time, we encourage people to do it themselves.
Nice.
So a good way to do it: you buy one, you trust that it's well made, and then you look at it how it's done, and you find the description how it's done on the website in the shop. So that's the easiest way I could imagine.
That's wonderful. So besides selling them, you're actually teaching people or giving instructions how someone could make it themselves.
Right.
That's very nice.
So when I do it, I make photos, and afterwards I compile photos. I put a description in steps. What you do this and then this and then this and then this, and at the end you have it.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Then via doing this, Quebec is also by surface a very big country. and people live far apart. So the idea came up to have distribution centers or to create a network, and that was pursued for a little bit of time, and then the person who did that, he lost track, and then
Oh,
he stopped doing it.
I love your
But
the little design for the plasma
yeah,
network, though. That's
that is what we still want to do, but not like a centralized organization, more like an open space platform,
nice.
decentralized, where people can. It's more like a Tupperware thing.
Mhm.
The locality organizes itself, and if you create a network like this on the web today, you can make it an intelligent network. That means which the network sees your location, and if you are a client and you want a product, the network will guide you through your nearest person who fabricates.
Yes, how wonderful.
And that would also help in what we do not want, like disaster situations.
Right.
It would facilitate help very much.
Nice. Beautiful. So is it a special software system you use, or it's just in general?
No, all my websites are WordPress because it's open source. I love open source.
Right.
And it's easy to handle for me. I cannot code websites.
So how do you do the plasma network? How do you connect everyone?
I'm not doing it yet.
Okay. But it's kind of in the plan.
For this, I would like to get to know a person who knows this.
Yes.
And then we can collaborate and take it up.
Very good. Very good. And I love your little logo too. That's beautiful.
Thank you. So now I have to move us a little bit so we can read everything. Oh, we cannot do that. No, we can't. So go back and go back. Plasma Laurentide is the website. I will give you the addresses of the website at the end of the presentation. So here we have, I will give you an example you will understand easily. On the home page, when you come to the website, you can add your email address to receive our newsletter, which is weekly. And there you can, what we are doing is, for example, I listen to the teachings of Mr. Keshe and Carolina and others or during the week. Then I make notes. I extract what I understand and what I think is pertinent for me and now. And I write an article about it. Then I put this article in the newsletter, and at the same time, I put it on this website under the category where it belongs. So you can find things back.
Nice.
On the website, you have also a page which is called Plasma News, where you can find all the newsletters we ever did.
Wow. Beautiful.
And each of the newsletters has the content. So the table of content is printed also, so you can choose, you can browse it and you find what you're looking for maybe, and then you can click on it and you get to the article.
Very nice. And just looking at all the list of all the things you have here, it's kind of like a table of contents maybe.
Yeah.
And I know your interests, even before you came to the Keshe Foundation, were ecology, agriculture, water, habitation, and nature. You were kind of involved in your house building and your land and all of that. And then
before I came in contact with the Keshe Foundation, I went back I had a fountain company, and the fountain company went down, or I took it off in 2008 when the banks took away the cash. And then there was no cash for fountains anymore. So I was
Wow.
also happy because I thought, well, fountains are very luxury things. And
Yes.
how do I make fountains for pleasure in the Western world or in Las Vegas,
Yeah.
while there are 1,500 children dying every hour because they have no clean water?
Right. Yes.
So I went back to school and I learned eco-village design with Gaia
Nice.
Institute in Findhorn in England.
Beautiful.
And I got certification for that. And that the table of content you see is actually the 4 dimensions of eco-village design.
Oh, beautiful. Health, ecology, experiences, and energy. Is that it?
Yeah.
And then the world of plasma and the basic technologies.
Yes.
Beautiful. And it just, again, I think this is an overview of the depth of your understanding, your mind's ability to be able to comprehend these different parts and pieces and
Right.
put something together on it.
So on the website, you can see on the homepage, there are the categories with all the articles. So
Great.
you can easily find. And the green drop you see, it's an ad I put in. I took the basic plasma science course of Jim from Australia,
Mm-hmm.
and I made them in the PowerPoints.
Mm-hmm.
In very much shorter and much more condensed than the video version. And this online course, I will put it in the shop soon. I'm through halfway, so I did 6 of 12. And I hope in the next 2 months I can do the rest. I do it in French first, and then I will quickly translate it in English and German. And
Nice.
so people can buy this, and then you have the choice. You can either for free listen to 36 hours of video, or you can have it in much shorter
Nice.
time.
Okay, let's go ahead and yeah, beautiful.
The shop, parallel to it, there are of course links between the shop and Plasma Laurentiede. The Fab-Shop is as complex as the information shop, because the Keshe Foundation and this new science and this new science breeds almost every week a new product. And we really cannot produce everything.
Right.
Where Mr. Keshe says, "Oh, why don't you do this, this
Mm-hmm.
that way?" And that means like 3 lifetimes on the spot to make all this, and then all the knowledge seekers around the world have their ideas and do things.
Right.
So there is a huge funnel of possibilities, which and the end of the funnel is in my head or my heart, rather.
Yeah.
And there
So
I do what I like.
yes,
So
beautiful. So ipointdev.org is your website.
yeah.
Okay. And then, I mean, if we just read through this really fast,
Yeah.
the self-healing facilitation, the work facilitation, energy, Monographs house, Monographs car, capacitors, plasma booster, pro warmth, do-it-yourself nano coating kit, GANs kit, fabrication material, liquid plasmas, liquid plasma and GANs, Ganzeria, plasma elixirs, water vitalizing, plasma orotol, via sano, and then permaculture plasma garden kit, floating islands, and I can't wait to see the picture of what you did on your lake. Health antennas, cup of life, trans plasma cup, eye care, nanoplates, GANs patches, plasma walk, breathing tube, first aid kit, peace reactor, wristband, wishing magra, flying carpet, EMF protection, EMF shields, Coco 1, Coco I. And it looks like there may be a little more below, but so exciting. So let's see some of the beautiful pictures of all these things that you have created.
All right. That is the 2 pages of all the products of health. So when you click on each of them, you will get to a page which shows you the details like that. I took the example of a health antenna, which is otherwise called pain pen.
Mm-hmm.
And I choose health antenna because it's not only for pain.
Right.
People treat intestinal diseases or skin disorders which do not imply pain successfully with this too.
Yes.
So what you see first is a description of what it does. Health antenna is a plasma tool that removes pain and treats a lot of body conditions.
Nice.
And then, of course, we have to remember that all these things are the beginning. We don't know yet for what this pain pen or the health antenna is good for because we have not yet tried it on that.
Right. So, and I think a lot of that, you know, the studies are going on and the clinical studies are going on with the medical section of the Keshe Foundation. But so do you even have nano-coated copper in there, or is this just GaN?
Yeah, we have. Then first you get, if you click on the do-it-yourself image, you get to the page which shows you how to do it, which I don't show now.
Uh-huh.
In the descriptions, you see the versions. We have health antenna with liquid plasma only, and we have health antenna with copper.
Nice.
With the conventional first generation pain pens. And we have an emergency antenna, which actually was developed by Renan in the Philippines, which has a vortex antenna inside it.
Nice.
And then my wife, she makes a pouch for the antenna, which we found very useful, and we do it also then you are able to carry your antenna around your neck.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
The other health, I do not put an extra slide for each item or group of items. If it's only one, I do not do that. But if, like for eye plasma care, we have 3 different products. So we do the general eye drops. We made these plasma goggles, which are hollow plastic tubes filled with liquid plasma and guns in 2 concentrations, one behind the head,
nice.
One in front. And the cataplasma is the same thing, is for the night. It's actually a blindfold from air travel or whatever, where we sew pouches in the front. Nice. So in the front, you have the 30% or 50% diluted liquid plasma, and you have a full head patch to put on your pillow in the back of your head. So actually you do not treat only with the goggles the same thing, the eye as such, but you treat all the visual apparatus and you treat the brain as well.
Beautiful.
Cup of Life, we have also 2 generations. One is the version with nano-coated copper plate inside the double wall. The other one, there's no copper in it, it's only liquid plasma. That came about with clinical tests in Ghana, where they found out that liquid plasma has a tendency to be more effective. But there are many people, when you buy things or you fabricate things or you use plasma tools, don't over-challenge your mind. Be gentle with yourself, in the sense that if you feel, well, a health antenna with copper, that's the real thing. I can see it, it's something inside it, and I believe it works.
Yes.
Then I should choose the copper version and not the liquid plasma only, just because somebody said it's clinically proven that it works better.
Right.
Actually, if you like copper and the copper is valid for you, it will work better for you than the other thing.
Beautiful on all of these. Beautiful.
Then we have the plasma breather, which comes in two versions. One is the version developed by Dr. Rodrigo in California. The other one is a hookah plasma Mr. Keshe mentioned once. A very small version. You can use it for travel, and it's very unconspicuous.
Unconspicuous, yes.
Oh yeah, that's it. Except that it has cannabis leaves in front.
Oh.
So, well, I cannot do everything.
Yes.
And then we have the plasma first aid kit, which contains everything the foundation proposes as needed content for this first aid kit. Also nanoplates, health antenna, guns patches, and the liquid plasma for the eye drops, and the liquid plasma, food plasma. I decided to put that in because I think it's important if you have a catastrophe and their food, you cannot go to McDonald's because they don't exist anymore. It's good to have alternative.
Beautiful. Yes. Great.
Actually, a plasma freezer is suggested by all the medical doctors of the Keshe Foundation to support if you want to treat heavy diseases or chronic diseases. It's a kind of you must have this to support the treatment of your emotional center, and it's not enough to treat just the physical symptoms.
Nice. Beautiful first aid kit too. I love it.
Then we actually send it, we put it in a pouch, and so you can use the pouch and you can travel. You can actually leave it in your car, so you have it all the time.
Nice.
The last thing from the health section is the flying carpet, which is health/spiritual. It's actually made for meditation, to facilitate meditation. It's a traveling kit. It's a mat, a cushion which you can blow up with this little black blower pump, air pump, and you have three plasmas, different plasmas, which you deposit and which creates a star formation where the top reactor is your head.
Beautiful.
So you can use this, and that should help meditation.
Nice.
In the energy section, we have on one hand all the monographs and components of monographs, and on the other hand we have the stuff for the heating of the house, like pro-warmth, we call it, pro-warmth plasma, which we make the nano-coated copper plates put in the windows. They are nano-coated copper plates, and they have GaNs on it.
Nice.
Then we have also the pouches, which have been developed by Eric in Denmark, which you put on the four directions of each room of your house. That's with liquid plasma. Capacitors, we are very much in love with an Austrian capacitor invention by a guy called Friedel. He designed a capacitor. When I saw it, I loved it. So I decided to do a lot of those. They have a central pin. They have GaNs paper, and they have aluminum around it. So they are actually a battery. Then around it, the secondary coil is clockwise and anti-clockwise, the same coil. So it creates a gravitation and a magnetic field at the same time. So we took what this guy Friedel said. We took it, and he said, oh, you can plug them into your wall plug or into your car, and it will help nano-coating the wires and the car. So we make one with a plug for the cigarette lighter in your car,
right?
And we make one with a plug to plug into your wall.
Wow, very cool.
Car monographs, we do 3 sorts. The first generation, which is conventional with the GANS ball in the center, where we use like heavy GANSes, like lead, no, not lead GANS, how is it called, brass GANS. And we use also light GANSes like CH3 and CO2ZNO, of course. We made the GANS also of gasoline we put in there.
Wow.
And there is a little capacitor on the side, the first generation, but now we put immediately the Friedel capacitor in these ones. In the middle, the SLP, the abbreviation SR means one stack reactor. SLP, one stack liquid plasma. There you have no capacitor. You have a GANS container, a container with liquid plasma diluted to 30% in the center, and you have a tube with liquid plasma plus GANS on the outside, 100%.
Wow. And then do you explain at your shop where how you would use each one of these?
Yeah, you can read there how to install them. How to install them in this. They come all with a cigarette lighter connection, so you can just plug them inside your car.
Nice.
Or you can, there is also a diagram how to connect them to the battery directly. The 2SR is a 2-stacker version where the coils are not connected physically. So you have 2 GANS containers in the center under the spiral of nano-coated copper. One spiral is from the gravitational coil, the other spiral is from the magnetic coil, and the 2 GANSes are the same GANS in different concentrations, so they create a plasma field inside the container. And then you connect it either with the plug or directly on the battery.
Amazing. So these are all car monographs. Amazing. Very cool.
Then for the house monographs, we right now have 2 versions. I did not really fancy ever the first generation monograph. I don't know. It's an emotional thing. What I first went wow was when Ali from Vancouver, when he came up with this perpendicular coils. And Mr. Keshe said, well, that's great because it confines the plasma field. And then we do this, and then he said, you just put a LED and you don't put a load. We put the load like a power bar anyway, if people they can play around and choose what they do. And then on the image, you see the 3 double coils perpendicular, and you see 4 capacitors. The 4 capacitors, they are white and red, and they are connected to the exit of the Monograph coils, between the Monograph coils and the load side, if you want. Then in, I think it was last year in summer, a Slovenian knowledge seeker came up. He actually did what Mr. Keshe mentioned once. He said, I put all the GANSes I ever made in one bucket, and I put a stacker coil, 3 stackers inside the bucket, in the water.
Right.
And then everybody thought, are you crazy? It will explode. It's 220 volts. And then, of course, nothing exploded. And then Mr. Keshe said, that's great, because if you make a differential in the plasma field, like outside, the tubes you see there, they are with 100% plasma, liquid plasma plus GANS particles. Of all the GANSes we ever did, the coils are submerged in liquid plasma 50%, and there is a test tube inside at the center of the 3 coils, which is filled with liquid plasma 30%. So you have this plasma differential, which creates a lot, and that On the website, you can see our results measured with a watt meter, and it's hilarious. It really works very well.
That is very cool.
Except for, I could not match 220 and 115 volts yet. So we have an electric car. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
And you see, they are very funny monographs. And that is my artistic side. I like to have monographs. For me are not, I love when Carolina said, you know, monographs are living beings.
Yes.
You should give them a name, and you should talk to them. And you should meditate with them. That's how you communicate.
Yes.
And then I thought, well, what better than to not make them in a one box fits all box, but to give them clothing which is fancy, which expresses their character.
Yes, beautiful.
You also have one for engineers on the left. You have one for farmers who love chicken in the middle. And you have one more Arabic Sufi style on the right.
Beautiful.
So what we do, we sell these monographs like that. So if you like my artistical side, you'll be happy with this. Or we sell the 3 stackers, and people can put them in their fantasy clothes.
Nice. And then you sell the parts also in case someone wants to build their own?
Yes. Yeah, we do. I'm doing that right now to extend the shop to accommodate these things.
Nice. Very beautiful. Really cool. And I did ask Mr. Keshe recently the value of the Monograph in relationship to the new space technology that's moving forward with the neutrons and all of that. And he said, well, the Monograph is really designed to help us in the matter state, to help, augment the electricity. And so it really has its value, and each one has a different use.
Yes. And that's also the reason why the clinical tests in Ghana showed that liquid plasma health units are more efficient than copper, because copper takes the field and puts it into the material copper from the nano coating. So you have less field. That's the scientific explanation of it.
Interesting.
Then I just want to talk about the description of the power boost. Plasma booster has been developed by Arizona, and to boost the monograph field, the plasma field generated by their monographs. And the wishing monographs is a thing that was another thing. Jalal talked about it in One Nation, One World, One for World Peace session. He said, why don't we make a monograph which is one stack, which has an energy source, be it a capacitor, be it liquid plasma, whatsoever, and you don't plug it anywhere. You just connect it to your soul and you operate it on your soul level only. But there is copper inside, so it will work. It has the connection to the material side as well.
Right.
So we did that for a friend of us who spent her last 2 weeks of her life. She had multiple cancers in our house. And then I developed that for her. And so her husband and her son, they inherited it now. And I also followed what Jalal came up with, and Mr. Keshe took later. I make always 2 of them.
Nice.
So one you give away. So you will either fabricate or buy 2. You give one away to a friend, and that's the strong one.
Nice.
And then it has a connection because they are the same. They come from the same birth channel.
Nice.
So they are connected, and the stronger one will feed the weaker one, and the weaker one will work better. So this one we put on the roof of our house over our bed. Beautiful. And we sleep like angels.
Nice.
You can also, for another couple, we did it in a tutu in English is like a cuddle toy. You know, I make the ones, it's a one stacker with liquid plasma inside outside, and then I put it in a shrink wrap. So you cannot, cannot rub the nano coating off. And then I opened the frog and I put it in, and you know, the Gans ball in the center is really a golden ball.
Oh, how
That's
cool.
the frog with the golden ball.
Ah, the frog with the golden ball. I love it.
And
Very
then I've sewed it closed. I showed this image here that you see how the Magraph is inside the toy, and you can cuddle it, you can sleep with it. You can,
nice. I love it. Very cool.
And actually, for me, since the beginning, the main teaching is soul teaching.
Yes.
So all these tools, they are bridges. They are bridges towards our real life, where we can use, because we have no confidence yet to walk on water.
Right.
Then for production, we have a guns kit you can make your guns very easily yourself. The 4 basic ganses, CO2, CuO, ZNO, and CH3, including the amino acids. You have also a box nano coating box kit, where I took the idea again of Jalal. Jalal for me is a great source of inspiration.
Nice.
He said that Mr. Keshe said in one private teaching, why don't you put a metal grid on the bottom? You put anyway. Put one more on inside, attached to the lid of the container, and attach both of them to a plasma battery. And then he said, it creates a plasmatic field between the two where all the nano coating material is. That means the nano coating is already lined up, so you don't need to strip it after.
Nice.
And we sell, for if somebody wants to do his cup of life, we have found a double walled cup which has screw connections. So you can unscrew both things. You don't have to use glue. And test tubes we sell also in a power.
Very cool. I know. I mean, I've even had a hard time finding test tubes sometimes. So that's nice. Make them accessible.
Yeah. Then we have a plasma green kit for the garden, which contains a ring of liquid plasma with guns to put on at the foot of a tree where his soul is. And you have liquid plasma balls in 3 concentrations to hang inside the plant or around the plant. And I did a community garden for a center. I don't know how it's called in English. It's a house where they give food to people who are economically weak.
Nice.
And there I made a garden, a community garden outside. I put 3 Christmas balls of plasma in the 3 corners of the garden.
Beautiful.
Grows like hell.
Nice. Crows like heaven.
Yes, like heaven.
Beautiful.
And then we sell Ganzeria, which is actually all this, I think, I don't remember how many, I think over 70 different ganses we make.
Wow.
Of metals and supplements and stuff. You can buy liquid ganses with liquid plasma with ganses, so you can multiply them ad infinitum yourself.
Nice.
And the plasma elixirs are like something you can use. Oh, it's only 58. Exaggerated.
That's okay.
Yeah, we have in the elixirs we have skin blisters for the skin. Morphe is drops to help you. It's a spray you spray on your head. It contains ayahuasca and cannabis.
Oh wow!
Where you sleep much better.
Eau de
is for the face. It's for beauty. plasma scalp for hair. The other one are self-explaining.
So how do you come out with something like smoke detox? How would you make something like that?
Oh, I did. I heard it in the teachings of Mr. Keshe, and then I make guns with tobacco. And he said, if you make a guns with tobacco, CO2 type, meaning I make a CO2 guns installation, and I put a little, some fibers of tobacco inside a tea bag, a tea filter inside the container with into the salt water.
Right.
Then I make a regular with a LED and regular CO2 guns. And then if you put this, either you drop it into a cigarette, or you put it into the reservoir of your electronic cigarette, and you smoke this, it will make that you don't like smoking anymore.
Interesting.
Well, for Vaccinex is like the detox for vaccination. It's a very complicated thing. I followed it and I did it for people, for us.
Nice, exciting.
Then we have an idea. Carolina came up with the EMF shield. That are the eighth symbol of infinity.
Yes.
Of nano-coated copper wire. I added coated quartz crystals in both of the loops, and I put them in between two plastic foils glued, so you can use them for your everything which emits, which means your electrical count meter, which when it is communicating, you can use it for your Wi-Fi, for your computer, for your cordless telephone, for all in your house like that.
Beautiful. Very nice.
Then we fabricate also, I'm also, thanks to my mother, able to use a sewing machine. So we make earthing sheets, which ground you while you sleep. And we did a cocoa eye is, cocoa means a condom for electrical meters. So it's a thing where it's actually a Faraday cage you put on the electrical meters, and it blocks all emission of EMF, which are bad for us. Now I had this idea to try it with just to add the EMF infinity symbols discovered by Carolina. I put 4 of them in a star formation configuration. I put it on a friend of mine who is, how do you call that? Sorcerer. You know, he works with an antenna. And he checked it out, and he found that it is 80%, it changes the bad frequencies into beneficial frequencies at a radius of 140 feet. So with this thing, you actually do want communicating electrical meters.
Interesting. Yes.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, we did this at the same time when Hydro-Quebec sent us a letter threatening us, if you do not accept the electrical meter communicating one, we will shut your electricity off. And then we developed this, we found them, we said, oh, feel free, install whatever you like.
Good for you, that is great. Non-confrontive.
Yes, that it is. For the water treatment section, which is the last one, we have the Plasma Total, which is, we use a regular water filter. We take the cartridge out and replace it by 3 double test tubes with guns, 100% and 30%.
Nice.
So they create a very, very strong, because they are 3 times the same, plasma field where the water runs through. The same principle is used with 1 test tube for the plasma jug, which has the plasma with guns in, a stand for a tea light, for example, a réchaud. And in the lid of the container of the jug, we glue a test tube with diluted plasma, liquid plasma. Then we do the water of life. That is what Carolina keeps on talking about, that we should all throw this in all the fountains and waters of this world right now. So on our website, we have decided to give this away for free. So people can order it, they pay only transport.
Nice.
For our house, we do not want to be cordonnier mal chaussé in French, which means a shoemaker who has bad shoes.
Oh, right.
We want to have good shoes. So we use everything we sell around and in our house. That's
Beautiful.
Our house, the Bale house in the Laurentians in Canada. You
Very
see,
amazing.
our
Beautiful.
Oasis is really thriving.
Yes, and I understand you built this yourselves.
Yes.
Very
And this year we had to repaint it, and being at it, we put CuO and CO2 GANs in all the paint. So
beautiful.
all our house now is really covered with plasma, liquid plasma.
Really nice.
Then we irrigate our gardens with liquid plasma. We put GANS balls everywhere. When I do GANS washing, the salt water I use, I put it in different spots on the garden and let it just infiltrate in the.
Nice.
Then we have when I use the coils and plates to produce guns.
You bury them.
Yeah, when they are gone, I cannot do really anything with it, and I do not want people to touch it, so I bury it.
Nice.
And I think it cannot harm.
Nice.
Then we have a Monograph here in my office. We have the Wish Monograph on the roof. We have another Monograph in the garage. So we actually have 3 operating Monographs in the house.
Nice.
And our 2 heads are the 4th reactor for the stuff.
Nice. And then what is the Chemtrail Blaster with Renan?
Chemtrail Blaster is that's an orgonite.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's an orgonite which has 6 1-inch tubes coming
Copper
out.
tubes, right? I'm familiar
Right.
with that. Yes.
And in between them, on the bottom, I put a Renan V2. This wireless reactors he did 2 years ago.
Oh, nice.
And recently,
and then I know people that are putting GANs, containers of GANs inside of orgonite as well.
Yes, that's a good idea. Our orgonite was already done before I met Mr. Keshe. But then what a Reiki guy came up on Facebook with an idea of making the infinity symbol 6 times around it. And there I want to put also balls with liquid plasma on it. Nice. And enhance the Chemtrail Blaster with this. We see the effect actually. There are no chemtrails above our house.
Beautiful.
On the lake we have a floating island, which is a thing I have brought from my life before.
Yes, from your fountain business. I can see that, but it's beautiful.
Yeah. It's very beautiful. It's a floating mattress, 1-inch thick, and you plant it, and you can plant everything which tolerates roots in water. Nice. Then we have a fountain at the side, and we have GANS balls, and we have bottles of liquid plasma with GANS suspended under the island. The lake is fully GANS now.
Nice. And you told me that it had not had much life in it, or you watched the chemistry of it change, right?
Yes, the lake was rated by the government being almost eutroph, which means an old lake, a dying lake. And there was 12 micrograms of phosphorus in the water per liter. And then we put the island, and we put the guns in. And since then, in 4 years, the phosphate content dropped from 12 to now it's below 2, which I know no lake in the whole world who did that.
Mm,
And
that's
if I
awesome.
talk to the government, they want to talk about something else.
Well, we're really glad that you're a living example of it. That is so
Yeah, and
really cool.
I want to write actually a scientific paper on it if I find the time. So
That would
if
be a
Mr.
great
Keshe,
thing to that would be a great thing to submit to the science
yeah,
journal with the Keshe Foundation.
yeah, I will do that.
Yes,
Because I have also hard data, and the data is actually done by labs from the government.
that's
So
excellent.
it's,
Use very, very valuable information.
yeah. In our car, the left image, we put a type of a wish graph because it's a full electric car, Nissan Leaf. And I do not want really to put the maggraph on the electrical system of the car because I do not want to nano coat the contacts.
Mm-hmm.
And there is nobody I know who did something with electrical cars only. So I put an antenna, as you see, and I talked to this Monographs called Carla to charge the battery while it's running. Why not?
That's awesome.
And the other image is our electrical motor scooter, where we put your idea. Actually, you publicized this. Is the idea of this Audi guy?
Oh,
You
right.
know, it's a tube with ocean gans,
Nice.
and I because I did wash it like you have to, so
Uh-huh.
I re-injected salt and caustic,
Yes.
and I will see what the feeling of right now I have is that it charges much faster than before.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
Beautiful. Very cool.
Here are our websites, the addresses. Do
Perfect.
you make this? I don't know. If somebody wants, there is an email address, center@pondevi.org.
Okay.
People can write me and I can send them the presentation.
Okay. Great. This is awesome. Okay.
Voilà.
Beautiful. Well done. And you can stop screen sharing. Um,
Mhm.
Aviram, this is just really, really nice. Everything that you've made, everything that you've produced, it is so cool. I'm super impressed. And it's the reason I wanted to do this show with you because we all learn from each other. And you've really put a lot of great things to work. So thank you so much. And please continue on. Enjoy your beautiful
Yeah,
space. Yes.
soon, like in 1 or 2 weeks, maybe next week, I will have a new product, which I have not found the name. It will be something, you know, this what Jackie, you made an interview with Jackie, and
Right.
she
Yes.
proposed ocean guns or plant guns tube around the garden hose.
Yes.
So I will make that. I will name it to her, and
Very
then she
cool.
will laugh maybe.
Yes, I'm sure she will. Her laughter keeps us all going.
Right.
Well, Aviram, thank you so much. And I
Mhm.
think we'll meet again. We're talking about doing the same presentation in French and German, which will be
Mhm.
good because we're in this global world at this point. And thanks so much to the Keshe Foundation for connecting so many people on these topics.
Yes, thank you.
And we want to thank Mr. Keshe for what he's bringing to the world. This is an amazing science that we know will carry us into the future. Thank you for going to the learnings and assimilating and putting things into practice. I'm sure this will be appreciated by many.
My pleasure.
Okay. Well, remember, breathe, smile, and love. And by so doing, we will change the world. And make your GANs, use your plasma products, and be part of this change.
Yes.
Okay. Ciao. Adios.
Adios.
answers are inside. Yeah, I am a 21st century superhuman. Now is the time. Come on everyone, let's celebrate. We are the children of the sun. I can see it when I look into your eyes. We are the same, and we are light, yeah, we are one. Hear now, hear my ancient prayer and sing along. We are awakening as one. And we can make a difference, yeah, we can be the change it takes to make the world a lot more fun. Well, if you're feeling kinda down and you need some inspiration to remember who you are, oh, now, child, please don't frown. You can choose a new vibration, and these words can take you far. I am a 21st century superhuman, and I know that the answers are inside. I am a 21st century superhuman. Now is the time. Down and you need some inspiration to remember who you are. Whoa, now, child, please don't frown. You can choose a new vibration, and these words can take you far. I am a 21st century superhuman, and I know that the answers are inside. I am 21st century superhuman. Now is the time. I am a 21st century superhuman. I know that the answers are inside. I am a 21st century superhuman. Now is the time. Now is the time. Now is the time. Now is the time.